everyone, it's your friendly teacher Lydia here, and we are here for advanced class. Today is the 26th of March 2020, and we're here on SEDA College Online live. So we're so happy that you're joining us today. I'm just going to give some time for everybody to show up and to join us. Make sure you have some water with you, very important. Try to drink out of a glass bottle if you can, it's good for you, good for the planet. Make sure you have a pen, something to write with. Really important to take notes for your body memory and your visual memory. Super important. And if you have a highlighter or something, that's great too to help you make some notes with and highlight the important information, draw attention to it. It's always nice to have a little calendar or something near you, let you know what the date is, write your date on your notes so you can keep track of your own learning and see your progress and everything. So, teacher got an interesting new little doodad. Just so you know, doodad is like a word for like thing, anything, thingy, doodad. And it's like a little keyboard thing, which is cool. So when I transition slides, it's going to make no noise instead of having that click sound. It's just you and me, baby. No noises, no interferences. So, guys, I just want to check. I'm going to check on the time for a moment. You know, I use my timer for my phone too. Great. Okay. So, let's get going. Let's get started and check out our advanced class for today. Before we do, I have to say one more thing. I just want to remind you all the amazing resources we have at sedacollegeonline.com. You can subscribe and get even more great classes from us. You can also check out our podcast on Spotify. It's called SEDA Talk. And if you go to YouTube, our channel has like tons of great videos and stuff for you too. Some videos I did years ago, other teachers did years ago, great Teacher Adam videos, all kinds of amazing videos we have there for you to check out as well and practice your grammar and pronunciation and other important skills in English. So please use all our resources, or to use a more formal word, avail of all our resources because they are there for you. Welcome. Let's start our class. Okay, so what is the topic of this class? This class is vocabulary for work and jobs. Yesterday we did money. Today we're doing work and jobs. So you can see we have a lovely employee or worker or self-employed entrepreneur here at her desk, sitting down with her laptop, her to-go coffee or takeaway coffee, and her lamp, looking very professional and very happy to be at work. Great. So what do we have next? All right, so now we have vocabulary for work or jobs. And, you know, I just wanted to give you guys some basic vocabulary on how to describe your job. So these are adjectives that we're using to describe a noun, the job. The first word we have here is challenging. 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 That's 3 syllables. And this is what we use to describe a job that is not easy, but we enjoy it. You might do a lot of problem solving at this job if it's challenging. It's difficult, but in a good way. A challenge is not necessarily a bad thing. So that's important to remember. If you're dealing with something and it's difficult, but you don't want, your colleagues or your boss to misunderstand you, that you want to make sure you communicate properly, that you're happy and you enjoy, doing this work, even though it's not easy, then you say it's challenging. But every challenge brings a great opportunity, right? So I find my work challenging. I enjoy it. I could say that it engages me mentally, and I really love it. So, that's an important word to remember. That is a great way to describe a job. To say that, it's not something you can just walk in and know everything right away. It takes time and you have to put effort into your work, but you enjoy it. It's a challenging job. Monotonous. Monotonous. Monotonous is kind of related to tedious and repetitive, because if things are monotonous, you feel like they're the same all the time and they're getting boring. You might have repetitive actions that you have to repeat and do all the time, so it feels boring and not fresh and new. Tedious is something that is difficult and annoying and just like has lots of little details in it, and it's like busy work, work that they give you just to keep you busy. Then we have rewarding. If a job is rewarding or a task is rewarding, we're not just talking about jobs here, we're also talking about the responsibilities you have or the specific tasks or actions you have to do in that job. Rewarding means it brings you some kind of personal reward. You feel fulfilled and happy and good after you do it. Motivating. If a job is really motivating or an atmosphere in that environment is really motivating, it means it gets you fired up. You feel excited and engaged and enthusiastic about it. And that's really important for a lot of people when it comes to work. They really want to feel motivating and motivated at their job. Demotivating or demotivated. Demotivated and motivated are verbs. Motivating, demotivating are the adjectives. And they can also be the gerund form of the verb. So demotivating would be like if the job is very monotonous, repetitive, tedious, and maybe the atmosphere is really bad, and so you don't like the actual actions, the tasks that you have to do, and the maybe other colleagues and the atmosphere is not good, maybe the commute is really far. There's lots of reasons why a job could feel demotivating or maybe become toxic or a toxic atmosphere. I didn't add that one here, but I think that's a buzzword people are talking about all the time, toxic workplace. Demanding. This is another way to talk about challenging, but it can be more negative sometimes. So if a job is very demanding, that means it's physically and mentally and probably emotionally exhausting. It takes a lot of work to do the job. And if you're, paid properly, the compensation that you get for your work is enough and you feel it's good, then you might feel that the demanding nature of the job just makes it challenging. So it's still exciting and it's still great for you. So it depends on how you feel about the job. And we talked about tedious. Tedious is, something where it's a task that you have to do or an action that you have to do that involves a lot of little details, and it's kind of almost painful to do it because it's annoying and the process is difficult, and maybe it's something that could be easy, but it's made difficult for you. All right, so now what I'm going to ask you to do is fill the gap with a word from before, from that list we just had. So this is why taking notes is so important. I'm going to go back for a moment and quickly go over the list one more time so that you can write things down that you're going to use for these 4 sentences, these example sentences. Okay, so we had challenging. Say it after me. Challenging. Awesome. Monotonous. Great. Repetitive. Yes, guys, that's great. Rewarding. I hear you and I love it. Motivating. Great. Demotivating. Stressing the D. Demotivating. Yep, you got it again. Tedious. Yeah, that's it. Okay, hopefully that was enough time for you to write them down too. So in this activity, I will read everything to you, and maybe you want to practice pronunciation with some of the words. Number 1, worst. A lot of people don't pronounce that right, or they say worst when they mean worst, and worst when they mean worse. So pay attention if it's with the E at the end or a T at the end. That's very important, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to give us 3 minutes to do this one. No, 3 minutes is too long. 2 minutes. I'll read all the questions for you. Actually, 2 minutes is kind of long, isn't it? Not long enough. Let's go 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And remember, I'm here with you on the comments. So if you're doing this live and you're not watching it later, write your sentences in a comment, okay? Or in several comments. I think it limits the number of words you can say. So in 4 comments. And let me check out your work so I can help you and give you feedback. All right, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Let's start. So we have number 1. The worst thing about work is the many tasks that you have to do throughout the day, which seem pointless. Number 2, being an English language teacher is great because the work is never when you work with and meet new people almost every day. Number 3, most people decide to work in the medical field because they find the work to be very personally. Number 4, work is great when you enjoy your job and you approach each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Okay, so I'm going to read them again because I think it's really good for your listening practice. Okay, but this time I'm going to use a British accent for your listening practice. Now, I have to apologize to people who are British because I've been told that my accent kind of goes around to different regions of Great Britain and the UK. But you know what? Honestly, I'm just doing my best here to give you guys some extra listening practice, and anything different than me is probably good for you. Okay, so number 1. The worst thing about work is the many tasks that you have to do throughout the day, which seem pointless. Think Harry Potter. Number 2. Being an English language teacher is great because the work is never when you work with and meet new people almost every day. That went a little Australian. Apologies, people. Number 3. Most people decide to work in the medical field because they find the work to be very personally. Number 4. Work is great when you enjoy your job and you approach each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Okay, great. So I hope that helped you a little bit with your listening practice. Hear different pronunciations of those vowel sounds. All right. So let's take a look at the answers. And guys, if you tried, you already won. You already succeeded because trying is what it's all about. If you don't try, then you're giving up. And you're not disappointing anybody else. You're only disappointing yourself. Just try, do your best, and you will have great success. Let's check out the answers. All right. Woo! Answers. Boom. The worst thing about work is the many monotonous tasks that you have to do throughout the day, which seem pointless. So monotonous, like boring, repetitive, tedious, all rolled into one. That's kind of monotonous, right? 2. Being an English language teacher is great because the work is never tedious when you work with and meet new people almost every day. So it's not like little annoying details and you feel like you don't want to do it. Not to me. Number 3. Most people decide to work in the medical field because they find the work to be very personally rewarding. Number 4. Challenging work is great when you enjoy your job and you approach each challenge as an opportunity for growth. So, guys, whenever you're doing an activity, always read the full sentence because it gives you clues. They're called context clues. When I used the word challenge here, the noun, that should have helped you know that number 4 would be challenging, the adjective. Guys, if you got all 4 of these correct, wow, you're amazing. Amazing. But if you didn't get all 4 of them correct, guess what? You're still amazing. Still amazing because you tried and you didn't give up. Always try, okay? Always try your best. All right, let's move on. Vocabulary for work and jobs, collocations. Do you remember what a collocation is? If you said it's words that often go together and native speakers use always together or most of the time together, then guess what? Boom, you got it. Because that's what a collocation is. They're just words that often go together and native speakers would often put together, and you wouldn't know unless you're taught that. So for vocabulary for work and jobs, we've got a variety here of nouns and verbs, and I will explain them to you. Academic qualifications. So when you're applying for a job, they usually want to see your academic qualifications. An academic refers to education like schooling. Qualifications is any certificates, diplomas, certifications, courses, things that you did. And those would be in the education section of your CV or resume as well. Okay, next collocation, words that often go together. Work experience. That's also on the CV. Your work experience is the experience you have in different jobs. Okay, so that makes it a noun, just like academic qualifications are a noun, plural noun. Work experience is singular in a way because of the way it's grammatically written there. However, it's an uncountable noun. So it would be like milk or sugar. All right? The job ladder. This is a noun. So a ladder is the like 2 pieces of wood with slats on it, like stairs. But when you're outside somewhere or inside, you use it, you lean it on the wall. It sits like this, the ladder, and it helps you step up and get higher. So the job ladder is like you start at the bottom as a base level or entry level employee, and each time you get a promotion, you're stepping 1 step up the ladder. Okay. Next, we have step down, which comes from the whole idea of the job ladder. So to step down or taking a step down, those are verbs, mean kind of 2 slightly different things. So if you step down from a position, that could mean that you are still with the company and you're just no longer doing that position anymore. Or it could mean that you're leaving the company altogether. Depends on the circumstances, but you're no longer doing that higher level position that you were doing. And that you can say so-and-so or the CEO is taking a step down. Job hunting, verb. So this is when, hunting is like with guns, right? Hunt animals or a bow and arrow if you're more of a sportsman. So job hunting is when you don't have a job or you have a job and you want to leave your job, you're looking for a new opportunity or something. And that process, a lot of people just say job search, but many native speakers say job hunting. And that's why we have agencies that are called headhunters. And recruitment agency and headhunter is the same thing. Okay, so they're looking for a person to fill a job. Okay? Then we have permanent contract. That's a noun. So when you're offered a job, if you're offered a permanent contract, then your job is secure. And that's a really great thing. That's what most people are looking for, job security. Internship or intern. Those are both nouns. So internship is the program, including the job that you do for a while. And the intern is the one that does it. And usually the way it works is it's when somebody's studying in university or school, they get an internship, program placement in a company to do work. Sometimes it's paid, oftentimes unpaid in my country. And they do that work for the summer or for a certain period of time to get work experience to put on their CV or resume. So when they go look for that permanent job, when they graduate, they can get it more easily. Okay, applied for. I put that twice, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why. Thought I was editing my slides better. But if you saw it before me, good job. You are on the ball. And this is a phrase, a collocation that we would say in the workplace as well. If you are on the ball, that means you're on top of things. You know what's going on. You're very aware of all the situations. You're reacting appropriately. So good for you. You are on the ball. Okay, verb, graduated in. So if somebody asked me what I studied at university, I could say I graduated in history. Okay? You could say you graduated in whatever. A graduate, noun, is a person who graduated from a university. So you could say he is a Trinity College Dublin graduate, or she is a Harvard University graduate. Okay? Then we have this verb or phrasal verb, clock off, clock in, clock out. Okay? So clock in is when you first get into work in the morning. Some jobs have you, in the past you had like a card or a ticket, you put it in the machine, it said the time you came in. Now you might have like a key card, kind of ID card that you just tap somewhere, and that says the time that you showed up and you got into work. Clock off or clock out is what you do when you exit. Same thing, but the reverse reason. Doing it because you're leaving. Okay? So guys, if you have any questions about these, please write them down in the comments, because I need to know if you need my help so I can give it to you. Okay? So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Write it in the comments. All right, we're going to do an activity again. So I hope you took notes. All right. So what we're doing with this activity is we're going to look at some new phrases, and we're going to decide, are they synonyms? Like, do they mean the same thing or not? Synonyms we usually use just for a word, but here I'm using it for the phrase, okay? Synonyms or not. So for each number, you can put like an S for yes, it's a synonym, or an N for no, it's not, okay? So I'm going to give you 4 minutes for this one. I think this one's really important to give you some time with. And 4 minutes, 30 seconds. And as usual, I'm going to play music. And I will read through each one. Well, I'll read through each one and let me see. I will read through each one first and do the pronunciation, and then we will do the activity. I think that makes more sense. So, hire somebody. Hire. It's like higher or lower. Same pronunciation, different spelling. The verb to hire. It's sometimes used like rent in the UK and Ireland, but it's for things, not people. And then employ somebody. Are those the same things? Employ somebody, hire somebody? You decide. Think about it. But I want you to say it with me first. Hire somebody. Yes. Employ somebody. Yeah, you got it. Quit a job. Quit a job. Quit. A lot of people spell this word wrong. Quit. They put an E at the end and they make it quite. Totally different word, okay? Quit a job. Yeah, you got it. Resign. So this is a very Z sound here. Resign from a job. Resign. Resign from a job. Yes, that's it. I can hear you. Okay. Company staff. Company staff. Workforce. Workforce. Are those the same thing? You think about it, but say it after me, okay? Company staff. Yeah. Workforce. This is a compound noun. We put those two together. Workforce. Okay. Be laid off. This is the infinitive. Be laid off. Be made redundant. Ugh. I can't believe I couldn't say that just then. It's hard to say. Redundant. Be made redundant. So these are two things that can happen that make you leave a company. You decide if they're the same or different meaning, okay? Be laid off. Repeat. Great. Be made redundant. Awesome. Okay, number 5. Be out of work. Be off work. Let's do that. Be out of work. Good. Be off work. Yes. Okay. Out of work. So you would say, I'm out of work. I'm off work. That's where the be comes in. You conjugate it for the subject. 6. Be sacked. 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 So that ed has a T sound. Very important. Sacked from a job. Be sacked from a job. Get fired. So you say it after me. Be sacked from a job. Yes. Get fired. Good. Okay. Number 7. Get promoted. Get promoted. 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 So it's not ed, it's id. Promoted. Get promoted. Good. Get a raise. 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 Good. Get a raise. Awesome. Okay. Job perks. Job perks. Job benefits. Good. Benefits. Awesome. Okay. So I want you guys to try first to decide if they mean the same thing or they don't mean the same thing on your own. Like I said, I'll give you 4 minutes or so, and then I'm going to reveal the answers and explain why they're the same. They're synonyms, or they're not. They're different. Okay? All right, let me see. Good. Okay, we're resuming our time at 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Get the music on. Yo-Yo Ma this time. No, it's not, because he plays the cello. This is Antonio Vivaldi, Gabriela Montero. So Gabriela Montero plays Antonio Vivaldi. Beautiful. No pressure on you guys, no pressure on you guys, no pressure at all. No, seriously, no pressure. But the music's here to help your brain. It's classical music. It's really good for your brain. So, if you don't know these, that's okay. You can use your phone and look it up. Like, Google is your friend. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You don't have to know everything. I am just inspiring you to make the connection. Okay? I'll just wait here patiently. Okay. A little less than 2 minutes left. You can do this. You got it. Oh, this is beautiful. This is Johann Sebastian Bach, played on the piano by Lang Lang. He's amazing. Very good. Okay. Remember, I can do this. I can learn English. I'm studying. I'm trying. And that is good enough. That is good enough. I want you guys to use that mantra. I'm studying, I'm trying, and that is good enough. I am good enough. Because you're amazing. And you're doing great. If you have any questions, don't forget, you can write them in the comments, and I will respond. Got my little magic keyboard. I am responding. Okay? I'm totally responding. I'm all about interacting with you in the comments, okay? So make sure, if you're live here with me, you get that down. Get that down. Get your questions down in the comments. Okay. Beautiful. All right. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let's take a look at the answers and I'll explain. Okay, number 1. Hire somebody, employ somebody. Guess what? If you said they're the same, woo, woo, you got it. Because hire is kind of more informal and employ is very formal. It's a very formal word to employ someone. Number 2, quit a job or resign from a job. Slightly different. If you quit, you could have quit maybe on bad circumstances. Actually, both of them could be bad circumstances, but quit is more slangy. So they're very similar. Quit is more slang, resign is more formal, and resignation usually sounds better. Like maybe it was like on better terms with the company, but that's not always true. So just remember the slight difference is that quit is more informal. Okay, so when people leave in a huff and they just leave the building, they say, I quit. They don't usually say, I resign. But it doesn't mean that just because somebody's resigning, it's on better terms. Quit is just more informal. Okay, number 3. Company staff and workforce are different. Company staff are the people who work for that specific company. The workforce are all the people in the country, or all the people that work in a specific industry. So you could say that the workforce of teachers or the teacher workforce in the country. It's a much larger group of people and doesn't differentiate between companies. It's just all those people. Alrighty. Number 3. Oh, sorry, that was number 3. Number 4. To be laid off, to be made redundant. They're the same thing, but laid off, again, is informal, but it's the same thing. Some companies say laid off, some say made redundant. It means exactly the same thing. It's usually because a company is downsizing or the company doesn't have a good money situation. Number 5, be out of work, be off work. Very different. If you're off work, it means just like it's your day off. You don't have to work that day. Be out of work means that you have no work. You have no job. Okay. Again, if you guys are getting these, you're doing awesome. If you didn't get these, that's okay. Guess what? You're going to get them and learn them now. Write them in your notes. Okay. Number 6. Sacked and fired mean the same thing, but they're used in different places. So sacked is a very British English thing to say. UK, Ireland, Canada even. It means you got fired. Fired is the more American English thing to say. And they're both informal ways to say you were dismissed. Dismissed. And ask me about this in the comments. I will write it for you. To be dismissed. Number 7. To get promoted or to get a raise. They're both positive things usually, but they are different. So if you get a raise, that means you get an increase in your salary or your wages. To get promoted means that you get given a higher level position. That does not always mean you get paid more money. So that's an important thing to remember. If you get promoted and you don't get a raise, then someone is thinking they can get you to do more work for the same money. Keep that in mind. Number 8, job perks and job benefits. A perk of a job could be like a company car or a laptop or a mobile phone or little things that the company gives you to make the package of recruitment more attractive or make your job more attractive. Job benefits are things like that are important that help people. And again, it makes them more attractive, but they're different. It's not usually a physical thing, like use of a gym or something. The benefits are more like use of a gym would be like a perk. Job benefits are like making sure that you have a 401k plan or a retirement plan, or you have a healthcare plan. Those are benefits, okay? So it's really important to understand the difference between perks and benefits. People usually go for benefits over perks, but both are great. So I hope that answered a lot of the questions for you guys that you might have had when you were trying to decide if they were the same or different. If you did a little Google search, good for you. If you didn't, whatever. Listen, I'm just happy you're here. You should be happy you're here because you're doing a great job trying really hard to learn English with us here at SEDA College Online, and we're so happy you're here with us. So here's a little real-life situation. Our favorite couple, the man says to the woman, "How do you like your new job?" And she says, "It's challenging, but also very rewarding." That's how I feel about my job. It can be challenging, but it's so rewarding, and I love it, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys. So thank you again for joining us here at SEDA College Online. I am teacher Lydia. This was our advanced class. Please check out all our other things on sedacollegeonline.com, our YouTube channel, our podcast on Spotify. We love you. We are so happy to help everybody live their dreams of speaking English and gaining confidence in themselves as people. That's part of what I love to do here. So thank you for joining us. Please leave any comments that I can answer after we are done now. Okay? Thanks so much. Have a great day.